Okay, welcome back again. This is part 3. Now, the question we asked is, why did the diffusion of water boiling fail? Now, let's understand why that happened. Okay, now let's understand that for different reasons. First, compatibility of cultural norms, values, and beliefs. So Nelida wanted to diffuse an innovation, an idea, or a public campaign without understanding the beliefs, values, and the norms of that targeted audience or culture, and even with the past experiences of these audience. So she didn't understand the social system. Now, the colored words are the key terms here: the norms, values, beliefs, and the social system. In your case, if you want to diffuse a public campaign, you need to understand the social system, the network. So we'll discuss, that's why we need to understand the makeup of that network. Okay. The second thing is, Nelida should have understood the hot-cold belief system. She didn't understand that. And that's why some people adapted for the wrong reasons. Nelida failed to show the importance of interpersonal networks. Yes, this is very, very important for interpersonal network. It is all about the interaction. For example, Mrs. B looked at Nelida as important reference comparing to how other housewives looked at Nelida. B wanted Nelida's approval. Basically, B, because she was from somewhere else, she was an outsider, she wanted social acceptance, social approval by the authority. Nelida, in one way or another, she reflects the government or the authority. That is not the case for the locals. Now, she failed to understand that innovation is a social process. It is not a technical process. For her, she went there, this is, what is happening if you drink water from the well, and you'll get these germs. She started explaining germ theory. It is all on technical side. People don't understand that. They want you to speak their language. Nelida, now she works with the wrong housewives. She focused on targets who were perceived as sickly and outsider. So she did not diffuse her campaign to the right people. A and B were not perceived as social norms, social models. So basically, we discussed before about opinion leaders. She was supposed to target opinion leaders. If you want to look at opinion leaders, is like to understand that you need to understand here it is. Nelida ignored opinion leaders who could activate sub-networks to diffuse the idea. So if you want to diffuse your hashtag, a hashtag represents a public campaign, you needed to target opinion leaders. Had Nelida went to the village, to the biggest guy, the most a public figure, if you wish to call, in that village, and if that public figure adapts, believe me, everybody else would adapt. This is what you call now these days as social media influencer. You see, now a public an opinion leader is like social media influencer. I don't really like to call them like social media influencer because I don't know what it means, social media influencer. We need to discuss what is influencer and who is not an influencer. Okay. Now, as a result of rate of adoption did not reach critical mass. Now, only few people adapted, so it won't reach to critical mass. We'll discuss what is critical mass in the coming slides. Okay. Now, okay, so potential adapters were not willing to adapt due to the way that they perceived the change agent. Now, the change agent, Nelida, she went there like a police, and that is, the personality matters. The way you speak to people matters as well. She was viewed as a snooper for already harassed housewives. to keep clean homes, and she came from another place, and she's like, you know, you guys, you have to do this and this and that, and because of that, she was negatively perceived. Now, also, Nelida was technically proficient, was looked with a different eye as per the Los Molinos, actually, mistake here, tradition, knowing that these housewives had less contacts with outsiders, lower class. So basically, lower class less likely to adapt, because most of the 200 families were from the lower class, and she came from the middle class or upper class. So now, because of that, the difference in the class, she won't have that credibility. Now, people who like adapted and convinced by her message were more likely in the same class as hers, so more likely to adapt. Nelida was in the middle class, and the people probably like Mrs. B was an example of the middle class. Another reason that Miss Nelida was innovation oriented, not client oriented. She didn't understand the needs of the people, what they wanted. She should have spoken their own language, but she came with an innovation orientation, technical side, without any regard of the local beliefs. Now, the germ theory couldn't understand. Now, people couldn't understand what the germ theory. No matter how she explained to them that they are little tiny things invisible that can harm you, can cause death and disease, people don't understand that, or they didn't understand that at that time. Okay, now what have we learned from the boiling water case? Diffusion is a special type of communication. You have to understand, and that's why this class is in business communication. It is a special case of communication. Effective communication, diffusion. Ineffective communication, people will not adapt your innovation. This class is not about how to be innovative, how to build innovations. It's about how you diffuse. And the word diffuse is communicates and public campaigns, public relations, etc. You see, persuading clients, you need to persuade clients to adapt. Messages of such communication offer new content, like newness of message. Now, what is newness? Is like uncertainty. Now, if you want me to adapt a new innovation, to buy a new technology, before I adapt it, I will be uncertain. Should I buy it? Should I not? Let's say like a Fitbit, you know, or the wristband, you know. Should I buy or not? The wearable technology. I would have millions of questions. What is it for me? What I'm gonna get? What advantages? What are the disadvantages? How much does it cost? Now I'm with all these questions. I'm asking because I don't want to buy something then regret later. So because these questions is a way for me to reduce uncertainty. Once that uncertainty is reduced, then maybe I will adapt. And we will learn later that most of us, we adapt things, technologies, ideas, campaigns, tweets, hashtags by our close contacts. When they adapt, we adapt. Okay. For example, there is, I'll give an example like, I'll get to you later when we discuss about interpersonal networks. Information and exchange influence. Of course, the information that you get, you exchange with others, would influence the level of uncertainty. When new ideas are invented, this is what Roger said, invented, diffused, and adapted or rejected, leading to certain consequences, social change occur. Now, social change occurs when ideas are invented, diffused, and adapted. This is well summarized by Rogers. Okay, now let me just stop here and let me continue from this slide here. Or let me stop here and record in another part because there are only a few slides left.